Seated here with me, my respected colleague, General V.K. Singh Sahib, Secretary Civil Aviation Rajiv Bansal ji, over in Bombay, Rakesh Jhunjhunwala ji, who has always been, I think the one word that describes him aptly in terms of his lifespan is innovation, and we have seen that in today's function as well. Mrs. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala ji, Vinay Dubey ji, seated here with me, my additional secretary, my joint secretary, Usha Padi ji, Neelu Khatri ji, and all the family and friends joining us at Mumbai Airport for this extremely important and, if I may say, landmark function in the history of civil aviation in India. हिंदी में पुरानी कहावत है कि अंधेरी रात के बाद एक उज्जवल सुबह की शुरुआत होती है. And this indeed is a new dawn, a new awakening for the civil aviation sector in India in many ways than one. This sector across the world has been through a very trying time over the last decade or two. Many black swan events that have turned the fate of this industry globally. And so too in India, where this was a sector which once saw a plethora of new entrants, new entrepreneurs, new ideas, over the past decade has unfortunately been witness to the closure of many a visionary airline. And therefore, when I say that it's a new dawn, a new beginning, and how apt to have this function on a Sunday morning at a crisp 9 a.m. time period, which heralds the new dawn in many ways for our sector in India. I must congratulate Rakesh ji, Vinay Dubey ji for their vision, for their innovation, for their steadfastness of purpose. As Rakesh ji says, creation, human or otherwise, takes fortitude, time, patience, steadfastness of purpose. And we've seen that on your behalf over the last 12 months as you have first presented the idea of a new airline, and today we are truly seeing what its name foretells, Akasa, touching the skies. And I think your slogan that it is your sky to every consumer is extremely apt. So on this day, I'd like to congratulate you. Also, it's because of the foresightedness and the visionary goal and zeal of Prime Minister Narendra Modi that we've truly seen in India for the first time the democratization of civil aviation. हिंदी में कहावत है कि लोकतांत्रिकरण नागर विमानन क्षेत्र का हम लोग अब देख रहे हैं. Earlier it was an area, an industry which was considered very elitist for the 0.001% of our 130 crore population. But his dream, his vision of हवाई चप्पल उड़ने वाला पहनने वाला भी हवाई जहाज में उड़ पाए and उड़े देश का आम नागरिक. You have seen a transformation over the last 8 years in terms of accessibility, availability and affordability and inclusion in the civil aviation sector as we have never seen before. And therefore, in this new environment, I'd like to welcome Akasa Airlines, and I'm very confident that in an industry which is the third biggest in the world, in an industry which is growing at the second fastest rate in the world, in India, in the coming days, Akasa Air will certainly make a very, very important mark in terms of not only market share but also customer service and customer sat. We have in the last 8 years literally transformed the civil aviation sector under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Under UDAN, we have 425 new routes, aiming to touch 1,000 routes, 68 new airports, aiming to touch 100 airports in another year and a half. And mind you, this is a sector which has the highest potential, either in the form of investment, where the multiplier effect for every 100 rupees worth of investment is 325, and the employment multiplier for every 100 direct jobs created, 625 indirect jobs are created. And this is an area sector which has galloped ahead in the last 8 years, from a total civil aviation traffic per annum of 6 crores today, pre-COVID almost 14.4 crores. And it is our forecast internally, and I'm sure Akasa will be a strong pillar in that growth. In the next 4 years, we're looking at 40 crore travelers through civil aviation in India. And very soon the day is not far where, along with the pillars of road transport and rail transport, civil aviation will become the bulwark of the transportation sector in India in the days to come. Today's flight is an important landmark flight. It connects the financial capital of our country with, if you will, the Manchester of India. And both these states have a very strong underpinning in India's growth story. We have a strong concentration of flight connectivity in both these areas. I've just inaugurated the new airport in Keshod a couple of months ago. We are putting in 2 new green airfield airports in Gujarat, in Dholera for 1,300 crores and Hirasar for 1,405 crores, which will entail close to 53 lakh new passengers. Mumbai itself is going to get a new airport in the form of Navi Mumbai. And I'm very confident that these 2 states will form a very strong underpinning to India's civil aviation story in the days to come. Akasa too is got a very ambitious plan in place. You're planning to grow in the next 5 years to 72 aircraft. And I'm very confident that the single, double and triple routes that I'm seeing on the calendar today, very soon in the near future will dot every single part of India in your kaleidoscope of connectivity. And therefore today I'd like to wish you all the very best. I'd like to wish Akasa in its new beginning, a new dawn, a new growth opportunity, a new customer value proposition. All the very best in the days to come. Congratulations. Fly high, fly safe and rule the skies. Thank you very much.